So 60 years ago, a US president went on record and promised to hold the price of silver down. I'm not paraphrasing, by the way. This is Lyndon B. Johnson, July 1965. He said, and I quote, "If anybody has any idea of hoarding our silver coins, let me say this. The Treasury has a lot of silver on hand, and it can be and will be used to keep the price of silver in line." I don't know if he said it like that, but he did say it. That's a sitting president admitting out loud to silver manipulation that had already been running for years, by the way. But what led Johnson to this point? Because it's not normal for a government to tell its own people that it owns a mountain of silver and that it's going to dump that silver to suppress price. So why did he do it? Because back then, the US dollar was backed by silver. How? It was in coins. For example, a quarter had enough silver in it to make it worth a quarter. And the dollar bill in your pocket had a blue seal on it and the words silver certificate printed across the top. On the front was a promise, $1 in silver payable to the bearer on demand. And that amount was fixed, by the way. It wasn't actually a dollar, it meant 3/4 of an ounce. And it stayed 3/4 of an ounce no matter what silver was selling for. So you could walk into a bank, hand it over and walk out with the metal. That was the deal. Then all of a sudden, the price of silver started going up. So your coins were suddenly worth more melted down than they were spent. And your dollar bill turned into a voucher for cheap silver. Hand in the paper, take the metal, sell the metal, and you're up. Imagine going to the bank, handing over a dollar, getting $1.50 worth of silver. It's a license to print money. And Americans worked that out immediately. They queued up and they cashed those dollars in. But the government doesn't like losing money, especially not to its people. So they had two ways out. Number one was make silver cheap again. Number two was break the promise on that dollar bill. First, they went for number one, the cheap option, and they'd already been at this for 2 years before that speech from Lyndon Johnson. From September of 1963, the Treasury was selling silver out of its own vault at a fixed rate of $1.29 an ounce to anybody who wanted it, foreign or domestic, as much as they liked. They were trying to keep price at $1.29. And they wrote it down, by the way. This is the US Mint's own website describing what the Treasury was up to. It's on screen right now. The short version is that the Treasury confirmed that they were dumping silver to keep its price at $1.29, and they had a massive supply of it. So that's essentially a polite way of saying they are manipulating price down, and it worked. Silver didn't move at all for 2 solid years, but this was bleeding the vaults dry. So on the 23rd of July, 1965, they went one step further. The president signed a law taking silver out of the dime and out of the quarter, and cutting the half dollar down from 90% silver content to 40%. After that day, coins just became tokens. They looked exactly the same, but there was no silver in them, which is why Lyndon B. Johnson said in that speech, "Don't hoard the old coins because we will crush the price before we let you profit off of them." Think about what that quote actually was. It was a government 2 years into a fight that it was already losing, telling its own people not to profit from it. But how much silver does it take to hold price down? That's the question. And as it turns out, it's pretty much all of it. The US had to dump hundreds of millions of ounces worth of silver to suppress price. By 1967, the US was running out of silver to sell. So in 1968, with the vault nearly empty, they did the other thing. They broke the promise. The dollar, which, as I mentioned, was a silver certificate, stopped being redeemable. Your claim ticket was now just a piece of paper with a president's face on it. That didn't hold the price down, though. It just stopped the bleeding. They lost the price war, and this was them trying to save what little metal they had left. And that is the real answer to why the US government abandoned silver. They didn't run out and walk away. They just got beaten by ordinary people holding dollar bills, so they changed the rules on them. And remember that because they are doing it again right now. Quick thing before you go, I've written a free guide called How to Retire Before 2036. It's a full 10-year plan for anyone starting late. Get out of debt, invest properly, retire on time. Free download, link in the description.